Welcome to the realm of Millenia, boys and girls, be ye man, woman, child, spirit, creature, or demon. Be ye a native, migrator, or maybe even an invader into the land. Welcome to the realm of Millenia, boys and girls. For I am your host, the Millenian Mailman here today, and I'll be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate, fit in, and get comfortable. So go ahead and get comfortable, relax, sit back, and enjoy another Mailman Mild Monday, right? It is week 14, and the topic of discussion to be had here is that you know yourself better than anyone else could possibly ever could. Only you're in your head. Only you're the host of your body. So only you know yourself better than anyone else ever could, DNA included, right? So it is in everyone's best interest to be teaching their own DNA at least 50% of the time, instead of the less than 35% of the time that the general schooling system in place all around the globe tends to leave you with after they indoctrinate and educate your offspring, right? So, yes, that is the general hot take of discussion that will be gone over this week. That is the general topic of discussion that is had, that must be received and acknowledged, because that's just life, dude. Yeah, that's just life. But yes, you know yourself better than anyone else ever possibly could hope to understand, know, and be used to. That is just a simple mode of fact. What's this guy doing? That's weird. Right? Simple, sheer fact. You know yourself better than anyone else. Teach your own children. Like, if you have and go through life living the way you live, everyone knows the simple biology of your child is 50% you and 50% your partner. We don't care whether or not you chose a good partner or a bad partner, but we do understand that 50% of the things they are pretty much relatively prone to do comes from you. So it's in your best interest to teach your child the way you can acknowledge and receive and recognize you needed to be taught in order to learn the lessons that you needed to learn. So there are particular points in life where if you yourself as a person, an individual, as an adult, even to this day can't get through without being in denial. If you're in denial as an adult, your child will be about a certain topic. Your child too shall be naturally prone to being in denial about heeding or accepting and taking your advice. If you were an open-minded individual with genuine understanding instead of suppressed emotions that you hid behind a mask on, if you were genuinely open-minded or tolerable and coachable and trainable and teachable, your child would be more inclined to being a listening person. They'd be more inclined to being a competent, capable, coachable, trainable, and agreeable, less of a jerk individual. But if you all your life have been a jerk and bully, and you hate the fact that your child is also a jerk and bully, that's just something you need to recognize. You need to have a little introspective nature, look back at it and be like, hey, what would I need to personally allow me to be more trainable, agreeable, and more receptive and understanding. Okay, now I'm going to use those tactics on my child because my child is 50% me, so this is a 50% chance that this is going to work in every single situation, right? And with a mindset like that, that is how I go about babysitting and understanding as a parent. And that is why one of my greatest fears in life is that I will experience the awesome woes of being a father. And little did I know, the kids ain't mine. Oh, the black stereotypes, the black community stereotypes. The kid isn't even mine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a genuine fear, because on that DNA devil's advocate level, what if what I need and what I end up training and trying to teach and instill in the children that aren't mine isn't actually going to work the way it was intended to? Because what I am trying to teach them and instill in them would work on me. It very much should work on them, because only I know me better than anyone else possibly could. Only I do. So if I find out that I was teaching someone in the way that I needed to be taught when they are entirely someone else, it makes me sad. I would have tried teaching you differently. I would have tried teaching you like a step-parent instead of like your real parent. I may or may not be harsher or less harsh on you. But I know with my stubborn hard-headedness, if you are even half of what I am, I need to be somewhere with a metal bat waiting. I need to have a metal bat waiting to knock some sense into you. Hey, put the fork down. That's an electrical socket. I don't know how to pronounce that, Dad. I'm gonna put this thing in here because it fits. It looks like it's gonna fit. I'm gonna see if it fits perfectly. Right? No, put the fork down. I'm not gonna let you. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna hit you with this bat. Oh gosh, it shocked me. How dare you put that fork in the socket? I'm gonna do it again. This is why I needed the bat to hit you. If my child is anything as stubborn as me, it's gonna need a bat to the hands, like the nuns in the good old days. Nuns in the Catholic schooling system. I'm going to need that bat, that metal ruler on my knuckles. My child will also need that metal ruler on their knuckles, or a wooden one to give them splinters, the same way I did. Right? That's a necessity if they're even half the stubborn child I was, right? But if the reason why it would be considered like one of my personal greatest fears is that if they're not my child and I'm teaching them and treating them in this a harsh manner, what if they didn't need all that and I really was a bad parent because I was parenting them wrong? Not everyone is the same. I very much understand, recognize that, but my offspring are 50% the same as me. I acknowledge that. So I am considered an awesome, great babysitter because I always take into account whose children I am babysitting for, whose children I am tutoring or mentoring. I take that into account. I ask for their opinions, and then I do the normal, generic, other stuff and basic necessities. Basic necessities, your parents, how I interact with your parents, and so on and so forth. I'm going to further that identity, relationship, and perspective when babysitting, tutoring, and mentoring you, right? Take their wishes into account. I take my perception and knowledge and educational standpoint and tutoring, mentorship, or even babysitting scenario. I take all that into account for children that aren't mine. Oh, so-and-so's kids. Yeah, no problem. I'll be there. No problem. I got you covered. I swear. Go do your thing. I'll be there. You sure? Yeah. Everyone loves me. I understand. It's cool. So if I was ever in a situation where I had kids that hated me, my biggest fear in that was that, how am I teaching them wrong? And I come to find out I'm teaching them wrong because they're not my kids. Fuck. All right? That would utterly devastate me, that I was raising some kids like that and I did them wrong because I thought they were mine. When Lord knows I'm very open-minded, I don't care about being a stepdaddy or anything. And I raised them wrong. That would freaking suck. Because no one knows me better than me. And no one knows you better than you, even down to that DNA level. If you can actually self-reflect and recognize what you needed at specific times in your life in order to be a better person and grow and develop into a better person, and you're willing to make those adjustments and do those things for your child, that is the most important thing. And I feel like that's one of my greatest fears on that account, that what if I do the wrong thing because I didn't know? I don't want to unhumble myself, but I am a rather competent and fully capable individual. I'm an extremely knowledgeable and well-educated person. So to be blindsided because of someone else's lies would utterly devastate me. And because I'm never going to be able to let go of in what capacity or what way might I have ruined this child to bring this to raise them up to a point of turning into this psychopathic killer or something, or turning them into this thing they hate and that I dislike and never wanted either because I was going off the misconception that it was my child. Lord knows I'm a weird, quirky weirdo. I talk from the devil's advocate perspective weekly at minimum and daily at max. I am very much weird. And many people have said that I am messed up in the head. Okay? I accept that. I can acknowledge that. Right? But again, that being said, I know very much well what I would need in order to fix those problems. Me as an adult, I'm already an adult. Don't try to teach an old dog new tricks. Teach the pups the new tricks and stuff. I am very much open to teaching my children what they need to know and how they need to go about fixing the problem. I'm an old dog. I'm very much not willing to change. I'm just straight up not willing. I know what I can do. I know what I need to do to change. I'm very much not willing to change because I already love and like and enjoy myself the way I am. Weirdness, quirkiness, and utter deranged delusion in all, okay? But to feel like I failed a child that I thought was mine would just be like, oh, Lordy. That would be utterly devastating, right? Because no one knows you better than you, even down to the DNA. So it's in best interest that you go about teaching your DNA at least 50% of the time. instead of the less than 35% that most of the worldwide school systems tend to leave you with after all they're said and done with your child, with your DNA, with your offspring. Up until the age of whatever it is in most of your religions, up to the age of 15, 18, or 18, or whatever you consider to be that point of where they turn into an adult in your religion or an adult legally. Up until that point, it is best interest that you're doing at least 50% of the teaching and instilling into your child for the sake of them, their growth and development, more so than anyone else. If you dare call yourself a competent and capable individual, a competent, capable parent, it is in your best interest and your child's that you are teaching your child 50%, as close to 50% of the time as possible, instead of just conforming and allowing yourself to accept and say, whatever, with that less than 35% of the time. Right? But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. That's the news and intel I have for you on the mild Monday. I feel like I digressed from the topic a bit and made it a bit more deeper than the mild-mannered Monday that I was intended for, but too bad, so sad, put a stock in it. Like, comment, subscribe, and by all means share and explode and get this video more exposure if you feel like the discussion deserves a bit more talking about and talking on. But hey, peace, love, and happiness, man. By all means, enjoy, because I'll be pumping out more videos faster than the gears can turn that way.